All right, it's that time. It's Friday. It's 3 p.m.-ish. Welcome to The Bottom Line. This is where we give you a no-nonsense take on the top news stories in money and finance around the world. My co-host is Monica B. No relation to Cardi. What's up, Monica?
Wow. Okay, that was good. I did change my name. It is my real identity
Oh,
today.
are you full on for real now? That's great.
I am full on.
She's full on for real. Okay, so we've sort of collected some of the hot topics in the world of finance right now. Put together a bunch of different stuff here. Monica, fire away. What do you want to know?
Okay, so you told me nobody cares about the boat anymore.
No one
Moving on.
cares. Roach Motel. A
Moving
boat
on
got
from that.
stuck. It sucked for a second. It's over with. Done. Moving on.
It was a historic week. The S&P 500 crossed over 4,000. Big deal.
I'd say that is a big deal.
But I know that you said in one of your earlier videos this week, when's it gonna? There's an end.
Something's got to give. You can't have everything go up forever. So yes, we're going to see something break here soon. I don't know what it's going to be. Nobody probably does. Well, there's probably a few people who do. But my guess is that it's going to be stocks, just because there's going to be a huge rotation into crypto, particularly Bitcoin, from a Wall Street perspective. And it's not just going to be gold that suffers anymore. It's going to be a lot of other stocks. Probably not some of the high flyers like the Teslas, the Amazons, the big tech, the growth tech. That is going to be risk on for a little while because of the inflation concerns. But I think you will see some rotation out of stocks. We've already seen a big rotation out of a lot of like SPACs and stuff, with special purpose acquisition companies. A bunch of those have been thrashed because of this rotation out of stocks. But like a lot of big names, particularly the indices, are doing well. And so that's pretty interesting to me. And I do have a stock that I really, really like right now. Oh man, I like it so much. It's a 3 or 4 year play though, Monica. This is not a day trade. Okay, this is an investment. But
What do you got?
do we talk about it? Should I go there? Let me pull it up.
Go there. What is it?
Okay, so
What's your
I've
hot
I've
tip?
I've given this one before, and only once. But this one is, I think, probably the biggest no-brainer in the history of my investment career besides Bitcoin. Bitcoin is the biggest no-brainer by a million miles, and the reason is because it's a deflationary money mechanism in a super hyperinflationary world and economic environment that we're in. But besides that, a close number two, let me make this reveal official here. And my YouTube peeps have seen this already. I brought this up, and I actually got some really, really cool feedback from a pilot. So RTP, Reinvent Technology Partners, bought Joby Aviation. Joby is essentially going to be a air taxi. Okay, so check this out. So it's green. It's electric air taxi. Already approved by the FAA. Already approved by the Air Force. The government is behind it 100%. It's totally clean transportation. And here's the big question. And if you saw, I don't know, did you see when Elon Musk was on Joe Rogan's podcast?
I didn't watch the whole thing.
Okay. So, well, the first time he was on, it was very interesting because he was talking about this. And Joe Rogan was asking him, like, hey, are we ever going to have like air transport, mass transport? And Elon said, no, you really can't do it because just the engineering involved, it's complicated because it'll be so loud. Can you imagine thousands of huge drones flying around in the air? How loud that would be. One little drone is like, "Brrr." So if you had thousands of these big drones, it would just be, sound shattering. Well, there's actually a gentleman who I've talked to many times. I know really well through the YouTube channel, and he is a pilot. And he said, hey, I fly the non-electric versions of those. Here's a blog post from someone who has actually been able to fly one of the electric ones. He tells you everything about it. And one of the things that he said was, it was surprisingly, insanely quiet. He said they didn't need comms in order to communicate inside of the aircraft. They could hear each other. That's unheard of. So this stock right here, and they're not expecting revenue until like 2024. But Reinvent Technology Partners, RTP, this one, I'm backing the truck up on this one. This will probably retire me because seriously, this is going to be crazy. They have the green light from everyone. This is 100% for sure, a go. It's a green light. Here's the problem, Monica, and you know this because you've gotten into this stuff a little bit. There's no revenue anytime soon. Okay. There's no revenue in 2021. There's no revenue in 2022. There's no revenue in 2023. So if we're going to have like panic selling, or because this is technically a SPAC, if we're going to have panic selling, if we're going to have nervous investors, they're going to sell this because there's no good news coming. The good news is already here. And the good news is that there's revenues in 2024, and there's a long-term outlook for this to be the way that people get around, but there's nothing to talk about for a few years. So
when you're looking at the fundamentals of this company, it's not exciting because there's no current revenue.
Right. What you have to be excited about with this is, here's the two things to be excited about are this. Number one, the government green light, right? Like the green light from the government is the ultimate, especially in a highly political environment and like administration like we have. It is everything. That means that you win. If you have a green light from the government, you win. Now, on top of that, we have technology that's green and that's new. Like this doesn't like, and the reason I brought up Elon Musk is because he was even saying the engineering feat is not possible. And then we have now eyewitness testimony from someone who flew one of these saying it's super quiet. Like they have it figured out, guys. Like this is going to work. So, this one is, and I'll post the link to that blog where you can listen. It's actually a podcast. You can listen to these pilots talk about this, and is really, really cool. So there, I knew it was a long road, but you wanted to go down it. Are you happy now?
Yes, but I mean, I do want to buy when these smaller investors are going to have a sell-off, when they get a little nervous. Maybe there'll be some bad news that comes out that makes some day traders, intraday traders sell. But you're saying to buy and hold for the long haul.
Yeah. I mean, I think if you buy this at $10 and something, you're going to look back 5 years from now and go, I can't believe we were able to buy this at $10. But you're right. If there's a big sell-off and a huge capitulation, this is one of those ones that could go to $7 or $6. And if that happens, I will be absolutely backing up the truck, pulling the trigger over and over. I'll throw everything at it. Seriously. This is one of those ones. This is my call of all time. This is it. So this is the one. Down. This is the one. All right. If you've ever asked me for a stock pick before, ever been confident about something, the only thing I'm more confident about is Bitcoin, and that's just sort of a foregone conclusion. This one right here is a game changer. It is a societal changer. They have a monopoly. They have the green light from the government. They have a monopoly on technology. They have a monopoly on permission. They are going to rule the roost, y'all. It is a done deal. It's just going to take a few years. So for those, what did Warren Buffett say the stock market is? It's a mechanism to transfer money from the impatient to the patient. Okay, that's what the stock market is. This is going to be a great example of that.
That's a good one. Moving on. Huge surge in Ethereum. My favorite shark, Mr. Mark Cuban.
Mark Rubin.
Says it's the closest thing to currency. My dear friend Derrick Evans, I think, might argue Bitcoin is the closest thing to currency.
See, this is all wrong. So the problem is, crypto isn't really about currency as much. Currency and fiat will always be here. Like the dollar will always be here. The euro will always be here, or whatever, you name it. It's always going to be here. This is where a lot of people get stuck. I was stuck here for a long time thinking about, oh, well, you're not going to replace the dollar, guys. Or no one's going to want to go through all these hoops and use this to buy a Coke. You know what I mean? What if we come to a machine and it just takes credit cards and coins? What are you going to do? So this isn't the idea of Bitcoin. But where it does come in is in large transfers of money. It's a huge, huge player. If you look at like the mortgage industry, for example. The mortgage industry will be transformed by Bitcoin. There will be a mortgage company that understands it, that comes out and uses it and will be able to fund instantaneously without having to go through Fed wires and wire desks and wait for approvals and all this crap. They'll be able to use Bitcoin to immediately transfer money from here to there in a millisecond at no cost. And they will be a game changer. And the whole industry will have to follow whichever company decides to do that. Whichever company has the understanding, whichever company has the stones to get in there and actually do it, they will be able to rule the roost. And you could use Ethereum, you could use Bitcoin, you could use any of these. I'll tell you about Cuban though. And by the way, I'm going to give a shout out to Ari. What's up, Ari? Hey, if you guys are watching, hey, shoot us a comment. We'll say what's up. We're trying to hang out. It's Friday. We're trying to have a little fun. We work hard. We work long hours. We work 7 days a week. There you go. Good for you. I'm not there. I've got a water somewhere. Oh, thank you, Patrick. Yes. Like betting on the Cardinals. Yeah, it's guaranteed money. You know, I'm a Cardinals fan. So here's why Cuban likes Ethereum, because Cuban, you said he's your favorite shark. But Cuban is kind of
he's a nice guy.
He's not a nice guy. He's a complete jerk. He is a complete jerk. And in fact, it's his ego that's causing him to push Ethereum. I'll tell you exactly. I've watched a long interview with him about it, trying to find out what is the real reason for this. He said that Ethereum is a better store of value. He said that Ethereum is a better currency or a better, exchange of value and store of value. I'm sitting here. I keep waiting for him to say why. Oh, the technology is better, this and that. No one cares. It doesn't matter. The technology only needs to be so good to be a store of value or to be an exchange of value. And both Bitcoin and Ethereum are good enough in that regard. He likes Ethereum because he sees a better potential to make X over on his money. That's all it is, because Ethereum is at a lower price point. So if you put in 100,000 into Ethereum today, you're getting 50 Ethereum, you're getting not even 2 Bitcoin. So in his mind, he thinks he'll make more money if he gets on the Ethereum train. And you know what? He might be right. We'll see. Full disclosure, I do own a tiny amount of Ethereum, XRP, which is Ripple, and Cardano. Not very much. Those three I own a very, very small amount. Bitcoin, I would say, is 95% of what I have in crypto. And I believe it is the king of crypto. And it has proven itself over and over and over for the past decade for that to be the case. So no, Mark Cuban is not a nice guy. He is a dimwit, but he's very smart. You know, he's smart. He's a good business person, but he's also got a lot of other issues we won't discuss. So from this particular thing, he's wrong. Bitcoin is just as good as Ethereum at any and everything. But when you look at some of the things that they're doing with Ethereum, it is pretty exciting. I will say some of the things that are going with Ethereum are pretty exciting. But here's one thing, Monica, to keep in mind. Bitcoin, there's 21 million. You know how many Ethereum there are?
I do not.
135 billion. So we have a supply and demand situation here, right? So 135 billion, and it's not capped. It's growing. As it's being mined, the number of Ethereum in circulation is growing. That said, let's take a quick gander here.
So there's something fishy going on there?
This is Ethereum. No, that's just by design.
Okay.
Here's Ethereum, and Ethereum has broken out. So Ethereum has broken out from this previous high over here where it touched $2,000. It's broken out and it's off to the races. And unfortunately, Bitcoin has not been able to do that. It keeps trying, and it's been in this pattern here. It's just stuck right here. It just can't get out of this wedge here, which is below its previous high. So if we're just looking at the charts, then yeah, we probably see like, okay, Ethereum's, there appears to be more bullish sentiment on Ethereum right now than there is Bitcoin, which is really interesting. But on a situation like this where the market's closed early on Good Friday and you're headed into the weekend, just remember the crypto markets are open 24/7. So, you know, big things can happen over the weekend. You can never look away when it comes to crypto.
Bottom line is buy Bitcoin.
Bottom line is you can't go wrong with either one. But if you want to buy the king, buy Bitcoin.
Okay. Hey, jobs are up. That's good. right?
Yeah, I would say that's going to fall in the category no one really cares right now and here's the reason
Oh
why. Sorry,
man.
bottom line, no one cares because we've been hearing that, oh, well, jobs, we lost all these jobs, we gained all these jobs. It's just noise now because the markets continue to go up. No one seems to care. These jobs reports just aren't landing. Like good jobs report, nothing changes. Bad jobs report, nothing changes. It's still just risk on. Everything's green. Everything's positive. Everything's up. Everything's up except bonds. And so right now it's just a pure run from bonds, which, if you believe in inflation, then you would agree that you would get out of your bonds, which obviously everyone is, which is what's causing mortgage rates to be higher than they probably should be in this particular environment. So right now, if we look at, where are people putting their money? Crypto, stocks, real estate, and they're winning. Everybody's winning. It's like a casino where the house doesn't take your money yet. They're coming for your money, though. I promise you that. They're coming for it. And none of us are going to be able to see it coming this time. The next stock correction and bear market is going to be absolutely horrendously brutal.
Any tips on how to avoid that?
It's tough to do because if you become trigger happy, if you get to a point where you're like, oh, well, the first really big down day, then I'll get rid of it all, you'll end up, selling too soon. If you say, well, I want to see 3 down days in a row, you're probably too late. So what do? I mean, when you're invested in stocks, you want to be invested in stuff for the long run, right? Something that if you're like, oh, hey, if it goes down, I want to buy more. That's why I talked about Reinvent Technology Partners. If that goes down, great. I'm in for more. Like, go down, please go down. That if you don't have investments you feel that way about, then you have the wrong investments. Okay. Like if you aren't into something to that level, that commitment, that conviction, then you shouldn't really be in it as an investment. It's more of a trade, which means you need to have stop loss targets. If you don't have that, then you're literally flapping in the wind. You are a sucker. You are a fish in the shark tank. You will get eaten. It's only a matter of time. The sharks may swim past you a few times. Eventually, they'll be hungry and you'll be the closest thing and you'll get eaten.
That's
Next.
a good analogy. Thank you, Derrick.
Keep them coming. Let's go. And by the way, we're doing questions as well, right?
Yes, absolutely. I would love, if Ari's still around, she has any questions, would like to be enlightened.
Drop your questions in the comments. We're going to start doing questions next week. That'll be a heavy part of this. I mean, we've been getting them on YouTube and we've just been answering them there, but we're going to start putting them into the show. So you can see the questions other people are asking and what we're answering for them. But I know you've got more stuff in there, so fire away.
Absolutely. Kind of going back to Bitcoin,
okay.
Buy Bitcoin.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
You can buy Tesla with Bitcoin.
Ooh, good one.
You like that, huh?
Well, here's what it is. And there's something more to that. And I'm pulling this up so that we can look at it. There's something bigger to that a lot of people missed. I'm going to see if it shows up in this CNBC story. So Tesla bought a bunch of Bitcoin. Right now, Elon Musk and Michael Saylor are the 2 CEOs, major Wall Street CEOs, who bought tons of Bitcoin and made their companies billions of dollars from the Bitcoin they purchased. Michael Saylor went crazy on his side of things. He went super aggressive, put all of the cash for MicroStrategy into Bitcoin. Then he borrowed money at 75 basis points, almost $1 billion, bought Bitcoin with it. And then they did a stock offering as well and took that money and bought Bitcoin with it. And he made his company almost $3 billion in like 4 months. So talk about stud level, right? He's probably the smartest guy that I've ever seen. Besides Elon Musk. Both of them founded their own companies. They're still CEOs of their private technology company, geniuses, and they're both buying Bitcoin for their companies and for their personal accounts. That's an important note to make. Not only that, though, what's really cool about this, so Musk comes out and he says, hey, you can buy a Tesla with Bitcoin. That's not really that huge of an accomplishment, right? That's not really a huge statement. Because you could buy anything with Bitcoin. Maybe you have to convert it to fiat real quick and then you can buy whatever. It's not a hard thing to do. What I want to see if they caught in here was what he said about what they're going to do with the Bitcoin. Tesla announced this is seeks return. Okay, so they're not really saying it on here, but the important thing about what he said here was that they're not going to convert back to fiat. So I should have pulled up his Twitter instead of CNBC. That's what I get for going this route. But
They're
bottom
going to
line,
keep the Bitcoin.
yes. So what they said was, this was the huge thing because it was actually a blanket statement. And people who pay attention to Bitcoin or Bitcoin hodlers like myself, we all caught this. He said, we'll accept Bitcoin as payment for a Tesla. We will not convert any payments taken in Bitcoin back to fiat. And then he said, we will not be converting. Actually, no, what he said was, we will not be converting any Bitcoin to fiat. So not just the payments on people who are buying Teslas with Bitcoin, but all the Bitcoin they hold. He said, we are hodling, basically. We are not going to sell any Bitcoin. And that was the big statement. We will hodl. And hodl, which is kind of an inside thing, I guess. But hodling means you won't sell your Bitcoin. I will not sell mine no matter what until Bitcoin hits at least $1 million. And I think we'll see that in the next 4 to 5 years. But for Tesla to say that, for Elon Musk to come out and say that was huge, because we've already heard that from Michael Saylor. We have not heard that from Elon. And a lot of people were making videos on YouTube. Oh, Tesla's going to have to sell their Bitcoin, blah, 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 just trying to create fear. And then we got that. So put that in your pipe. So bottom line, Tesla is not just owning Bitcoin. They are hodling Bitcoin, which means they will not sell it. Huge.
Boom. And I didn't get to the bottom of this one myself, but I know you know about it.
Okay.
The Coinbase IPO.
Oh yeah. Where is that?
What's going on with that?
Let me
Why
pull
is that a
link
big
up.
deal?
So team, this is one to take a look at. Coinbase is the premier, I would say, or probably the most widely used app. It's what I use for purchasing crypto, and not only purchasing it, but holding it, right? Because you have to have a wallet, you have to keep it. This is big for a couple of reasons. Number one, a lot of people are worried about the different crypto sites where you purchase crypto, because they're like, well, hey, like, you don't really own the crypto. They're kind of holding it for you. Like the bank holds your money. Like, you think it's your money, but the bank actually has to give it to you, right? You have to go to the bank and go, can I have my money? So who really owns the money? You know what I mean? So it's the same thing with crypto. You buy your crypto through Coinbase. Whenever you want to access it, you have to go through them to get it. It's very quick. It's very simple. It's not hard to do. But a lot of people are using like non-custodial wallets and stuff to hold their crypto because they don't think it's safe. I think Coinbase going public is huge for multiple reasons. Number one, it should make you feel a lot safer if you're a customer, because now they're a publicly traded company. They have a lot of scrutiny for security and for customer service and things like that. They can't be screwing people over. They have a lot more regulation. So it should make you feel safer about your crypto being stored with Coinbase. But here's what's amazing. If you look at the numbers, and they're going to actually supply their first quarter financials prior to the initial public offering of the stock on April 14th. So it's going to be April 14th for the IPO. If there's any way that you can get in the IPO on this, do it, and then send me a gift card afterwards, because this thing is for sure going to go nuts, especially right out the gates. I wouldn't, if you can't get in on the IPO, do not buy it on opening day. Wait a week, okay? The way these things work, this one's going to be super, super hyped. There's going to be a lot of money that comes in on day one. There's going to be pullbacks, okay? So if you are just dying to get in to it, at least look at it and put a snipe bid in, or do a limit order like way below where it's trading, and see if you get filled on day one or something like that. That's okay, because it might go up and down a lot. It's hard to say, but there will be a big pop on this one. There's the growth numbers that they have are insane. It'll be really interesting to see what that quarterly report looks like. Now, you tell me though. You tell me, if you're the CEO of Coinbase, by the way, they don't have to give this quarterly report. They're choosing to do so. You wouldn't do that if you didn't know it was good. Right? Like, you wouldn't say, hey, that's like telling, like, no, I'm not going to go there. That's like saying, hey, listen, I will show you mine before you show me yours, right? Like, let me show you what's up here. We're going to just get all of our cards out on the table. I'm going to show you
They're
my
confident.
hand. I'm going to show you my hand while we're in the middle of playing the game. They are basically saying, we have aces. We know it. You know it too, but we're going to show them to you anyway. And
Wow.
then you buy our stock, peasants. That's basically what it is. And yes, they're going to crush. They have been crushing. They will crush. The technology is amazing. It's a fantastic company. The growth is through the roof. The opportunities are endless. They have so many more things that they can do that they haven't even done yet that they will do. And that's going to be a very, very big deal. Some people, downside on this, Monica, is that some people believe that folks won't invest in Bitcoin. They will buy this stock instead. There's nothing wrong with that. This also, by the way, this is huge. A lot of people are concerned that the government will kill Bitcoin one day. And I shared that concern for a long time. That was my number one concern, was that, you know what, the government can murder this anytime they want. This pretty much makes that no longer true. Because remember, to file public offering, to become a publicly traded company, you must go through and be approved by the government. So this is a company that has been approved by the government to be listed on a public exchange that does nothing but sell crypto, number one crypto, Bitcoin. This pretty much means that the government is not and cannot kill Bitcoin. So I can't tell you how huge that is for people who may have been having concerns about whether that would be the case or not. This pretty much is that's what this is. And so everyone who's like me is like, heck yes, let's start the party.
Oh yes, love the sound effects.
So that is what's going on with Coinbase. It's huge. It's a big deal. And get in on it if you can.
Does it say what their IPO is? Was it that 340 number?
That's sort of what they're guessing the valuation would be. I don't think I've seen a number for what the actual IPO price is going to be. All I can tell you is that it's going to go much higher. That's it.
Absolutely. And it's not going to be one of those pump and dump stocks.
Well, it could be because, well, maybe not pump and dump, but it could go a lot higher and then sort of fizzle. Because keep in mind, a bunch of hedge funds and a bunch of mutual funds will be buying this thing because they're going to want exposure to it. It's going to do really, really well its first couple of years for sure. We can see that far down the road. So they're going to want to have it in their portfolio so they can say it's part of their holdings. So there's going to be kind of a mad rush in the beginning to just get shares, to get them on the books. And that will pump it for sure. So I don't know if there's necessarily a dump like on purpose, but the demand will normalize. Let's say that, after the first month or two. That first week, though, it's going to be an absolute land grab. It'll be like Black Friday at Best Buy. So just be careful and don't get run over.
That volatility, right?
Mm-hmm. Expect it.
Is anyone still concerned about this chip shortage that was causing the Jeep and Dodge makers, Stellantis, to close the North American plants?
I call BS.
I kind of do too. This is my conspiracy theory. This is okay.
There's no way.
My theory is so that this is the excuse to then move plant or factories to China.
Probably. I don't know that. But a chip shortage? Are you kidding me?
Right?
Come on, guys. You must think that we're idiots. Well, here's the thing. Maybe we are. Maybe we don't know enough about how technology works. Maybe we don't know enough about how the companies, the chip makers, how all that stuff works, semiconductors. Maybe we don't know. But you have to be kidding me that there's a shortage of a obviously in demand piece of technology that can be made with stuff that is on here on Earth. In other words, we don't have to go to Pluto to get it. How could that possibly be, given the state of the economy, given the state of especially the companies? You know, if you just look at the companies that make these things, they've been laying people off and stuff. So what? I mean, if there was that kind of demand, I think it's an excuse. It could be because, you know, hey, these guys have all gotten together and said, hey, we want to move our factories somewhere else where it's cheaper. That could be the case. It could be political in some way. It could be, but I don't buy the chip shortage thing. And maybe I'm wrong. I could be wrong about that, but I don't know, man. I call BS. Show me the money on that one.
Yes, I don't buy it either. Impossible. I mean, it's kind of like, I guess it's kind of like the whole diamond thing. Diamond's the best marketing campaign ever. And I'm not saying I don't have one. This is a diamond. I fell for it. Well, I guess my husband did. But I guess like I would have been mad if I didn't have a diamond ring.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm. Plenty of diamonds out there.
I knowingly fall for it.
No, they grow the diamonds now. You know, they have the diamond farms. They grow them, you know, so they're not blood diamonds and stuff like that. So you don't have to worry too much.
Wow.
You know, I bought a farmed diamond as well. It's much more humane overall. And you know, I don't believe the chip thing. That's just me. I don't know if you have this in there at all, but let's talk some real estate real quick.
I was just going for it. I mean,
okay.
I assume real estate's hot.
Yeah, well,
good?
it's hot, but here's what's going on. So if you want to buy a house right now, you have to have cash, not for the whole thing, but you need to have cash to cover a potential appraisal shortage. That's basically the bottom line right now. If you want to buy a home, and this could go for the rest of the year, if you want to buy a home in San Diego, and in a lot of places, frankly, around the country, but particularly in our market, you're going to need to be willing to come out of pocket if your appraisal comes in low. We're in such a quickly increasing market that the standards by which appraisals are done is not really being met. In other words, the appraisers are not able to use the faculties. Well, they're not able to use the rules that they have in order to get values that are totally justifiable by the market. So for example, you might have someone who goes and looks at houses. They're all 700,000. They write 3 or 4 offers. They can't get one. They finally found one that's even better than all those ones they looked at. And it's only 700,000 and it appraises for 650. So, you know, the market value for sure is at least 700, but the appraiser can only get to 650. That kind of thing is happening quite a bit. And listing agents and sellers know it. So they are saying they want appraisal bridge, which that means they want money to go towards the potential shortfall in an appraisal. That is happening all day, left and right. So if you want to be able to get a home, if you want to get your offer accepted, this is the key differentiator. Offer an appraisal bridge. You don't necessarily have to come up with that money, but you will if the appraisal comes in low, and that will give the seller peace of mind and give you a chance to get your offer accepted. So main piece of advice right there. If you're not ready to do that, if you are purchasing a home with like no money down, or you want to do it no out of pocket, this is not that market. Your only hope in that case is to find something off market or to find a seller on your own. Going in the front door and trying to compete with other offers with no money out of pocket is not going to happen right now.
There's just so much that goes into buying a home or selling a home than just like, I'm going to sell my house. And it's really coming down to, right? You think it's so easy. Like you just put a for sale sign on the lawn and it's just going to happen. But
no,
many professionals go into this whole transaction.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. There's so much involved. And right now it's just, it's just the hyperinflationary cycle that we're in. The demand is through the roof. People are looking at their cash. They're realizing it's trash. They're trying to get into the market. They're trying to figure out where to invest. And real estate is the safe investment. I mean, if you don't like crypto, for example, you don't understand it, you don't feel comfortable with it, I totally get that. I was the exact same way until I finally watched Michael Saylor speak for an hour about it. And I was like, oh my gosh, he's so right. So it may be, for everyone. It may not be for everyone. Real estate is something that's for everyone. That's one of the reasons I like it. It's the reason I promote it. It's the reason, listen, look how right we've been. I've been telling people to buy houses since 2010, and in 2008, 2009, in the early stages of 2010, we were telling people it was very, very dicey, but in 2010, we called the bottom on the radio show, almost exactly. and said, and frankly, I can't even take credit. I was listening to Donald Trump. Donald Trump said, if you can buy a house, you should buy one. If you can buy two, you should buy two. That's what he said. I took that in 2010 before everyone hated him. And I went, okay, I'm going to tell you guys, I'm going to play you a clip right now of like a guy who's good in real estate, who's telling you what to do. You don't have to take it don't take my word for it. People who purchased homes back then, even people who bought in 2014, do you know how much they're up right now? I mean, they're up huge. They've doubled their money. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy to think about that being the case, but you find me the catalyst that's going to change that, and I'll listen. Like, listen, I'm totally open-minded. People think that I'm not sometimes, but believe me, I am. Like, introduce new information and I will look at it. But you tell me how a hyperinflationary cycle, we're printing trillions of dollars on the reg, and that real estate's going to get hurt by that. Show me how that's possible. Explain that to me. We're going to see deflation in real estate with hyperinflation in currency. So there's no way. It has to coincide. They're 100% correlated. And so therefore you can expect real estate values to go up. And now the thing that's really crazy, Monica, is that I don't even think interest rates going up can stop it. I thought that was for sure the anchor. Like, that would be the ball and chain.
It's not over.
Not making any difference at all.
Wow. Okay. I was getting a little nervous there.
Yeah. It's not. No. Yeah. Higher interest rates is not changing the demand for real estate. It's not changing the demand. It still pencils. It still makes sense for people. And also, I think, we have entered a new realm in which people are spending more time in their home. And because of that, they want a home that fits certain needs that maybe their previous home didn't. So you have a lot of that going on as well. But that's the main bottom line. This real estate market, if you want to get in, you got to come to win. You're going to need some cash. You're going to have to be able to offer some cash. Maybe you won't need to spend it, but you're going to need to offer it on the table should the appraisal come in low. If you do that, you can get your offer accepted. If you're not willing to do that, most likely you'll just be wasting your time.
Bottom line.
That's the bottom line. Is that it? We're right, pretty much. We're just a few minutes over our target.
Yeah, I think we're good. I think we covered a lot of topics today.
Awesome.
And I threw in my conspiracy theory.
You did get a conspiracy theory, and you've been dying to get one in.
Cool. I'll have more because we could go down that way, right?
So the fact that Elon Musk says there's no aliens is kind of proof that he's an alien, right? Because obviously there's aliens. In fact, the government admitted last year that there were aliens and that we communicated with them, and it kind of slid under the radar because of all this COVID stuff. So the fact that Musk is saying there's no aliens just makes me believe that he, in fact, is an alien.
Absolutely. I could totally get on board with that. Do you know anyone that worked at the Pentagon by chance?
Yeah, I do actually.
So ask them if aliens are real and just see their response, because they'll say no, but they're not really saying no.
No, the government admitted this last year. I will pull this up and we will talk about it next week.
Okay.
They released the information, and I remember seeing it all over Twitter, and people were like, how crazy is 2020 that the government admits there's aliens and no one's even really talking about it?
That's in the middle of a pandemic.
Middle of the pandemic. Aliens.
And wasn't that a part of the COVID relief bill or something?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
Don't get me started on those. Let's not go there.
Have a happy Good Friday.
Yes.
Happy Easter.
Yes. You too.
Are you gonna hide eggs around for the little one?
Yeah, we're gonna go do some fun stuff tomorrow, and then we'll see what happens Sunday. But it's gonna be warm out there, so stay cool out there. Make sure you take care of your pets. They're not in too hot of a spot for too long, and it's gonna be pool weather, beach weather, so it should be an awesome weekend.
Love it.
Are you wrapping us up, or am I wrapping us up?
I'm gonna let you do it.
Okay, guys. Hey, have a great weekend. Appreciate you tuning in. Don't forget, drop your questions in, because we're going to start doing huge question segments on the program. We're going to answer the questions that you have. I'll give you my 2 cents. You can count on that. We'll give you the bottom line. That's what we're here for. Everybody have a great weekend. We'll see you soon.